Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'd like to talk to you about the PVSRA scanner dashboard. I'm releasing it for MT4 today, and very soon I'll also release it for the MT5 version. Now, in this video, I'd like to go over mainly what all of these symbols mean and the settings, because this dashboard, it has a lot of features and I won't be able to cover everything in depth, which is why I'm also going to share the links in the description box below. You can go to this blog post, and this has all of the screenshots for what all the symbols mean, and everything is explained in detail, how it finds the trades and how it highlights the background. So just take a look at this blog post before you buy the actual product. And let me first just talk a bit about what the PVSRA system actually is and how the scanner dashboard finds the best kinds of trades using the system. Just take a look at these. These are the currency strengths. So this will show you which currency is stronger than the other one. Like right here, the USD is stronger and AUD is weaker. So red means weak, green means strong, and blue means it's at medium strength. So based on this, like suppose if USD is stronger than AUD, then it's better only to take the sell signals. And if something like USD over here is stronger, in that case, take only the buy signals. So let's just open up one chart. Like right here, I see that the slope is 3. So in PVSRA, the most important thing is this 50 EMA. It's called the Dragon. And this EMA, this is the EMA 200. Now, for all signals, if 50 is above 200, then those are bullish signals. And if 50 goes below this 200, then those will give you bearish signals. And price will keep coming back to this 50 EMA. Then it will cross, it will go up, bounce back, cross, and it will keep doing that. It will keep bouncing off as long as the trend is going on. And if this 50 EMA, if it goes flat like this, in that case, it's not a good idea to take those signals because price will mostly range around that EMA. So the slope of this is very important, and also that 50 is above 200 for bullish. Also the volume candles, like this green candle, this is a high volume candle. Blue, this is a medium volume bullish candle. So these two are bullish. And this red one, this is a high volume bearish candle. And these purple candles, these are medium volume bearish candles. So the first thing I talked about was the price itself. And in PVSRA, the next important thing is the volume and the SR, that is the support and resistance. In this system, you will see these lines. So these are half levels and these are quarter levels. And you'll see these blue lines, these are full levels. Whenever price goes near these levels, it will slow down and it will quite often range near them, and then a high volume bar, it will break through above or below those levels. Or price might accumulate near these levels. In that case, you will get accumulation or distribution symbols in the scanner. So once again, the price, volume, and these SR, support and resistance. So the PVSRA is the analysis of all of these elements together. And when these come together, then you get the best possible trades. Going back, let me go over all of these symbols based on what we just saw in the chart. So the very first arrow, this one, this is price in relation with the dragon. If price is above the dragon, you will get the up arrow. If price is below the dragon, you will get this down arrow. And this number in the bracket, it will show how many bars back price had actually crossed the dragon. So if you go to this, you will see that 34 bars back, price had actually crossed the dragon. The dragon will actually be this very center line, and by default it will check for the high and low of the candle. But if you actually want to check for the open and close of a candle crossing this, then you can change that in the settings as well. And right here, the up arrow means price is above the dragon and it had crossed it 44 bars back. This bar is where price had actually crossed the dragon. And the next thing is the slope. So right here we have 3.2 and this one, slope 1.6. If I go back, it will show you the very current slope. So if you set the shift bar to 0, then that will mean that the ongoing bar, the bar which is currently forming, and it will look at the slope for the, by default, it will look for 3 bars back, and that will be this slope right here. But you can also increase it to maybe 10 bars, 20 bars, whatever you need. And another thing about slope is that if you see something like 0.4, 0.5, this is flat. So you can set a threshold. Like right now, anything above 0.5 will be strong. So right here, 0.6, this is strong, even though the slope is not that much. So you can change that in the threshold. So now that we have covered price and Dragon, the next line, this one is EMA 50 compared with EMA 200. So the very first arrow, it shows if EMA 50 is above 200, then you get this up arrow. If EMA 50 is below, then you get this down arrow. And the bracket, it will show you how many bars back it had actually crossed, like 50 and 200 had actually crossed. Right here we get 0 bars, which means that the 50 and 200, they have just crossed in the current bar. And if you see something like, say, 17 bars, then this cross had happened 17 bars back. And the next thing after that bracket is the S and R. This is the distance from the support and resistance. So this is how the price is currently moving to the nearest support or resistance line. Now for buy signals, like if you have this buy, in that case, negative 7.6. This will mean that price is just under this. So for buy signals, if price goes above this, it will be positive. If price is moving just under this line, then that will be negative. And for sell signals, like something like this, it will be the opposite. Like if price is just under this line, it will be positive. Price is just above this line, it will be negative. And next line, this one is volume. This will show you when a high volume candle had occurred and how many bars it had occurred and what was its multiplier compared to the past 10 bars. And you can also set that. So it will take the average of past 10 bars, like right here, PVA average bars, and it will check if it is more than the multiplier 1.5. And for climax value, like high volume, it will check for multiplier 2. But sometimes even with 1.5 or 1.4, you will still see a high volume bar, and that actually exists in the past 10 bars. In the past average, it sees that the current bar which is forming, it is the highest volume bar. So it will take the highs and the lows of all of those. Let me go back. Right here, you can see how all the calculations work behind the scenes. So the climax bull or bear high volume bars, it will look for this value 2, which is the high and low range of all the last n bars. And it will see that if current bar is more than that, it is the highest seen so far. In that case, it will also, even if the multiplier hasn't yet reached the 2x threshold, it will still consider that as a high volume bar. So right here, this is 1.9. It hasn't yet reached 2, but it is still a high volume bar. And something else, like right here, this is 1.8x, and 7 bars back, this high volume bearish bar had happened. So it will still consider that bar as a high volume bar. Okay, and after that, this point value, this shows how far the current price has come compared to the volume. Going back to that same chart, it is at 8.7 points. So after this bar, how many points has price actually progressed? So it will show us that number. Usually after a high volume bar, price continues to progress in that same direction. So example, the high volume bar had just happened and right after that, price continued. So that P, this one, it just shows you how many points price has progressed. Right here, this is a point value and this is also a point value. And if you use something like BTC USD, like Bitcoin, or something else like gold and USD, in that case, you will see that the price points, these will be much higher because in euro dollar or all of these forex pairs, the price points, those are much lower. Suppose I use my own pair list and I have all of these. So for those, I will see that the price point, this is much higher. So just be mindful of that. I'll go back to the core 14. So in the next line, this is actually going to be the action line on what is currently happening. Suppose if you get a distribution or an accumulation event, or maybe something like a stop hunt. In that case, you will see those things show up in the action. You can set the session timings, session start hour and end hour. So these will use this start and end time to check for all of these LH, HL, classic waves. If you have this on, it means that we are now in the on session, the within the start hour, and HL, LH. It will look for a wave with higher lows or lower highs. And this M, this is actually the momentum of EMA 89. And if this momentum is actually high and it's corresponding with our ongoing slope, then that will show up in green. And this will, if it's increasing, you will get a higher momentum. If you see the dragon is above EMA 200, but price is going below the dragon. And right here you see very low momentum for that. In that case, you will know that currently we are not in a good bullish trend. And when everything aligns and you get a higher momentum right here, in that case, you will know that price is currently in a good trend. And the final line, this one, D1 and W1, these are the daily and weekly pivot levels, basically the high levels, and it will check for those important magnet levels. So price quite often goes to the previous daily and weekly highs and lows. Now, if price has actually gone to that daily or weekly high, it has tested that, then those will be flagged as already tested levels. And if price has not yet reached those levels, then those will be marked as untested magnet levels. All of these are still golden, which means that price has not yet tested those levels. Now we just very quickly go over all these settings for the scanner. Now you can set your own pair list, or you can select any one of these presets, or you can also set the market watch list. Now if you set the market watch list, just be careful because you might have way too many pairs. And if you set your own pair list, just be careful to specify the exact name that your broker has. Like mine, it does not have any prefix or suffix, which is why I just mentioned the pair names directly. But if yours has some kind of a prefix or a suffix, then be sure to mention the exact name. Then you can have a comma separated list for time frames. You can set the font size or how many columns you want the dash to have, and X and Y axis where the dash should load. You can also move the scanner around, but after every time, like if I move it and if I make any changes to the settings, press OK, then it will come back to the X and Y coordinates that I set. And next up, whenever we click on a button, if you have this true, it will open it up in a new chart and it will apply this template. I already have the PVSRA TPL file, and you can mention TPL or not. Either way, it will look for that file in your templates folder. And if you already have any open or buy or sell orders, it will highlight those colors. And you can select whether or not you want the currency strength to show up in the dashboard. I would suggest that you stick with this daily range. Like this will show you exactly what the current pair is doing. And this SMA cross, this will look for the moving average cross and it will base the currency strengths on that. And it will use this period for checking the SMA. You can increase or decrease the button width and height. If you want to decrease it, set it to a negative value or else just leave it at 0. Now you can set the refresh after ticks. By default it is 10. So every 10 ticks of the current chart on which the scanner is loaded, it will refresh it. 0 means to disable it. So it will refresh every tick. If your shift is 0, if your shift is 1, then it will refresh every new bar. Which is why, since the scanner can get a bit heavy based on how many pairs, how many time frames you have, I would suggest to leave it at least at 10, maybe even 20 if you have a lot more pairs. Like if you see that the scanner is getting stuck or if your MT4 is hanging, then be sure to check this. You might have set it to a very low value. And max pass bars won't go beyond these bars for any of the calculations. Now scanner mode. So if you are trading in the direction of trend, which is what you will do most of the time, then just set it to mode trend. If you are trading retracements, then those will go against the trend. In that case, you can set the mode to retracement. So it won't check this EMA. Mode retracement will not check if EMA 50 is above EMA 200 for getting you the signals, because most of the time you will be trading against the trend. So let me just press OK and show you. I already got an alert for ready for a retracement. So right here, we already got a possible retracement happening. So I would not suggest that you trade immediately. We got another alert. I would suggest that you don't trade right after this candle forms, because a lot of the times while the candle is still forming, price might start going back up. So just be careful. And this retracement, this will light up only when that opposite bar happens, and it will ignore this direction. Otherwise, more trend, that will always take into consideration if your MA 50 is above your MA 200. Next up, it will show you the volume status. We already talked about this. It will take an average of past these bars, and based on that, it will find this multiplier. If it is higher than this, it will show it as a medium volume candle like this. And if it is above this, then it will show it as a high volume candle. Now for SR level, you can select if you want to check all three, or if you only want whole and half levels, or if you only want whole. So that will help you find this stop hunt. Now stop hunt, that will happen when price goes these many pips, when it tries to cross that level, but it doesn't and it holds near that level. In that case, you will get this stop hunt. And level proximity for all the other signals. To show you when we get a ready signal for a scout buy or scout sell, it will check for proximity from the nearest support or resistance level. Now price and Dragon max distance, this will be the ATR, and in order to get the ready signal, it will check that price and Dragon, this has to be more than the ATR and minimum number of climax density bars. Now these are the EMA settings. You can change the Dragon EMA period or the overall trend line or the EMA sonic. So this one, which checks for momentum. And if you want the slope check to be on or off, you can set that over here, and it will check by default the past three bars and minimum slope. In order for it to consider that slope as not flat, it will be 0.5. If you want a really high slope, you can set this to 0.7 or 0.8, because this will give you a lot more signals. Now, if you are using the Sonic R features, like if you want to track the high-low waves forming, in that case you can select these to true, and it will check for these SR magnets, like daily and weekly magnets. And if you want to use session filters, so you can mention the start and end hour, and this is the momentum filter. Now all of these filters, they will collectively form this, whether the scout is ready or not. We already saw those climax settings. When this matches, it will show you a climax alert. When price suddenly goes on this climax run, then you can set those alerts. By default, we have stop hunts to false, so you can set those to true, and run exhaustion. So this happens when after a climax run, price will start to slow down and it goes into accumulation or distribution. So in that case, you will get the run exhaustion. And you can also alert whenever you get any of this dragon crosses. In that case, you can set that to true. And all of these settings, these are whether you want pop-up alerts or file alerts, email, push notification. So what I would suggest is to use one of my EAs. It is an EA utility for sending your signals to Telegram. So suppose if I have file alerts set to true, and if I use the Telegram dashboard, let me add that right here. So you can set your own channel and just add the token that you get from BotFather, and you can set any of your templates. Like I have my default PVSRA. After I set this up, I will get all of these alerts along with a screenshot directly to my Telegram channel. So right here, I was testing stop hunts and I got a stop hunt, like it will show you exactly which pair, which time frame, along with a screenshot. So you can set any kind of alert. So you won't have to keep coming back to the chart Just by looking at the screenshot alone, you will know whether or not you need to end an ongoing trade, whether you need to place a new trade or not. And this Telegram EA, this is completely free and it works with all of my scanner dashboards. If you select this file alerts to true, in that case, it will send all of these alerts to a file, to this MQL4 files folder. And after that, we have all of these are just the color settings so that you can customize the scanner exactly how you like it. And finally, if you feel like you're not getting the correct values, you can also set the debugging to true and you can set the time frame or the debug pair, and that will give you detailed logs. And based on those logs, you can figure out why you are getting a signal or not. I think I covered all these settings, but I would suggest that you go over this blog post because this contains the exact behind the scenes working of this scanner dashboard and exactly why the scanner dashboard highlights and what color it will highlight in. It also shows you the accumulation distribution and all of those screenshots. So one thing I don't think I covered, distribution happens when price starts to slow down near an important level, like a whole level or a half level, and it goes in the opposite direction. You will see that price will start to range near that level. That's when a distribution happens, when it happens just above that level, and accumulation that happens when price goes in the opposite direction and it starts to slow down near that, right under that level. And that accumulation and distribution, it means that the market makers, they are likely building long positions in this zone. And so you might also get stop hunts before they push the price up through that level. But it does not mean that you should trade just yet. It's just a heads up to show you that the buying pressure is building. So just be careful near this distribution or accumulation symbols, or if you get a stop hunt symbol. And after all of this explained, how the calculations work, how everything works behind the scenes, in the blog post, you will also see the best way to use the scanner effectively. So it will show you exactly what kinds of labels will appear and exactly where to place your stop losses, what targets you should possibly take, and the different methods for trading the PVSRA. Like if you're scalping, if you're trading intraday swing, in that case, you should look for those kinds of signals. So just let me know what you think of this dashboard in the comments below. And also let me know what other such trading methods I should work on. I would love to create more scanner dashboards because there are a lot of systems out there. So let me know what your favorite trading systems are. And I really hope you enjoy using this. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks, guys.